Okay, welcome downtown Portland, week 115, Justice for Qadira.
As promised, we are back again, folks.
We want
to let you know, okay, that your government's still completely corrupt, okay, and they're not trying to do anything about it, and that's a problem for you.
Yep, that's a problem for all of us. Again, last week we turned over some information to the police that really should have them arresting everybody involved in this, but they're dragging their feet and taking their sweet time, so we'll see. It's only been 16 years. We'll see if anybody around here, decides to do their job. I wanted to dive right into what happened the other day at the city council, so I'm going to read this article because I thought that Mayor Ted Wheeler made quite the spectacle of himself at the city council because the fact of the matter is he's not a leader, right? And that showed really, really well on this video that was taken at the city council because he was just sitting there acting like a spoiled brat. And that's a big problem with our public officials and people who are in positions of power today. It's a privilege to be governing society. It's not your right to just sit up there and do whatever you want. I hope all the attorneys at Stoll Reeves are listening to me because they know what they've been involved with. I looked up P.K. Runkles-Pearson the other day. She's some big-time attorney for the state. I'm telling you, everybody involved in covering up the abuse of Qadira, oh my God, the money, the
accolades.
Just the accolades, the way they've risen in the ranks, it's astonishing. So it's not really surprising to me that the city looks like an absolute hellhole because you have people who are like, they're involved in covering up something that's flat out demonic. So what kind of energy do you think that's going to produce?
These people literally do not care about people, and you will see when my wife reads this article just how much they don't care about people.
So let's read it. Mayor Ted Wheeler halts meeting as testy exchange over tent ban derails agenda. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler abruptly halted an in-person city council meeting Wednesday morning after a testy, expletive-laden exchange involving at least one person who used their allotted time to give public testimony to address Commissioner Renee Gonzalez's ban on distributing tents and tarps to unsheltered Portlanders. Wheeler called for a recess shortly after 11:30 a.m. and the city council reconvened virtually. They don't want to hear from you, so they're going to go into the back room. Well, me and my husband, we know all about that. They just run off and they don't think they have to talk to you even though you're paying their salaries. That's really interesting. The meeting had entered a public comment period to address a report submitted that morning to the city council by the Police Accountability Commission, a group of council-appointed Portlanders tasked with developing a new system to investigate, discipline, and monitor the Portland Police Bureau. Which, before going on with the article, I don't know how we can be figuring anything out with our police bureau until we are addressing Justice for Qadira because they need to stop covering up this crime. All the way up to the federal government. They just need to stop because it's not covered up. It's just laying out in the middle of the road, as you can all see.
It's a white elephant, folks.
Right. Instead of addressing the report, however, 4 people who signed up to testify used their time to address Gonzalez's controversial February 14th, Valentine's Day because he loves you, policy change, which temporarily bars Portland Street Response employees from giving away tents or tarps to people living outside. Gonzalez defended the policy change last week after a late winter storm brought freezing temperatures and 11 inches of snow to some parts of Portland. The Multnomah County Medical Examiner's Office is investigating after a person died last Wednesday and another Tuesday, both possibly from hypothermia. It's not clear if either person was homeless. I'm pretty sure they were homeless. I mean, come on. Otherwise, they would have been inside.
Why would you be outside in temperatures like that
right.
if you had a home?
So Wheeler says this, I would respectfully ask people to stay on topic, Wheeler said to the second speaker. That is not on the agenda today. City Council cut off the microphone after a third speaker also used their time to address Gonzalez's policy. This is extremely disrespectful to the Police Accountability Commission, Wheeler said. Either get on topic, we're going to ask you to leave. The person was undeterred. Do you see these people standing up? We're all here for it, the third speaker said. A group of about 10 people had gathered inside the City Hall chambers to testify. Well, you're here at the wrong time. I'm sorry, the mayor said, before telling the group they could visit the council clerk and sign up to give public testimony at a future council meeting. I mean, these people, it's like, you have to go by our rules. Everything looks like shit, but keep following all of our rules. Doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense,
folks. While he's
folks.
sitting there covering up this crime and acting like that's also his right. Lift the ban, the third speaker said. It's killing people, it's inhumane, and it's evil. They then used an expletive to insult Wheeler. You know, like swearing is so offensive in our society when the whole place looks like a giant cesspool, sewer, hellhole. Another person in the crowd yelled out at the same time to insult the mayor. As a result of your behavior, nobody really cares what you think, Wheeler said. This is so hilarious to me because his behavior is so atrocious and so disgusting and so publicly out there. I can't even believe he thinks he can talk like this to people. That's not true. At least two people can be heard in the chamber saying back to him. Before the fourth speaker sat down, Wheeler warned the crowd that the meeting will go virtual if there was one more outburst. I don't care if you like me or not, the mayor said. I'm just asking you to be decent people. The fourth speaker addressed Gonzalez's tent ban as well. Wheeler called for a 10-minute recess. When the council reconvened virtually, Wheeler apologized to members of the Police Accountability Commission on behalf of those who sought to disrupt their work. You deserved more respect than that, he said. First of all, the Police Accountability Commission, I don't know what kind of work you guys are doing, but if you're not dealing with this, y'all are faulty foul and just taking money to I don't know what you're doing with it, because again, we keep setting up all these committees, but we've got this big crime laying out in the middle of the road, and you've got law enforcement totally involved in covering it up in the media. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to be patient here with law enforcement, but man, 16 years of them just being absolutely ridiculous, it's hard. You know, and unfortunately, it's a reflection on the entire force, and that is not fair to everybody that's on the force. To be being forced, literally, to engage in this sickening, disgusting behavior that's all out in the open for everybody to see. I mean, sure, they don't put it in the news, but we know people are talking. The whole city knows people are talking, and this is a nationwide embarrassment, so why don't we just get to cleaning it up? You know, there's been a lot of talk lately on Twitter about women's rights. I just opened up a Twitter for our account. I just started using it. And I can just tell you, I mean, I'm standing down in the city. We're not having any real discussions about the rights of biological women and girls if we're not addressing this. Because me and my husband, my daughter's never gotten any help. There's not an attorney in this nation, I guess, that will help her, which makes no sense to me. I guess, you know, the movie The Devil's Advocate was true. All the attorneys work for Satan, right? Because what is going on here? They're defending Scott Kotcher, who had an underage relationship with Rex Burkholder, probably a sexual relationship, I'd like to know. But we got the guy under oath saying that. So you've got every attorney in town covering up for Scott Kotcher. Scott Kotcher's running around filing all these lawsuits against the city and the state for bike accidents and everything else under the sun, but he's a criminal. So he's filling his coffers. And this whole thing just goes on and on and on. We just have a free-for-all in Portland. That's why the city just continues to go downhill. It just goes downhill every single week. And everything they're putting in the media, it's not to help us unify or get anything figured out, which is very, very unfortunate. So we're going to keep getting out here because until these people are held accountable, the people in power, they need to answer for their crimes. It can't always be about, you know, going and rounding up the poor and disadvantaged and throwing them in jail. What about when it's the big fish that are committing the crimes? How do we hold them accountable? You know, how do we get citizens paying attention to this when the media don't work for the people anymore? I'm very concerned. Our media is totally bought and paid for, and it's very interesting to watch the world through the lens of this rally, because, you know, when I see what's being addressed in the media on the left and the right, it all is very suspicious when you know about, thank you, what's going on here in Portland, okay? We have a little girl Well, she's 24 years old now, but she was 8 when this happened. We can't get any help.
There has never been.
Don't tell me we're standing in a place where anything's inclusive towards anybody.
There has never been an investigation into what happened to our daughter, okay? And that is not okay. Okay, so we're hearing too much about this, though. But you're not hearing about it on the media, which is a problem. Child abuse is a serious issue, okay? Human trafficking is a serious issue. But they don't really want you really talking about it because the people in power, this is what they engage in.
You know, and the thing is for us is we really feel this needs investigation so much because our daughter, you know, luckily she survived this horrific attack, but we do believe she was put through like an underground or whatever above ground human trafficking system because despite the fact that we alerted all these mandatory reporters to her abuse and she sustained a traumatic injury, not a single law went into effect. Not one. And it's very strange, and nobody wants to address it. So we've got a real problem in our system where the people in power, when they want to cover stuff up, they cover it up, and they will attack, manipulate, and try to harm, you know, innocent citizens, because that's what they did to me and my husband. Okay, so these rallies, they've become more and more important to us because one of the things I've been talking about, one of the things I wish law enforcement would address is, you know, they tried to incite violence in this instance. They've been trying to incite violence by ignoring what happened here.
Not just by ignoring what happened, by treating us the way that they've been treating us, like we don't matter. They actually have been telling that to our face. We don't matter. Our daughter doesn't matter. What happened to her doesn't matter. And you can go basically piss off.
Right. And, you know, then we get this, you know, we had this attorney involved that completely threw her case. We've been trying to figure out for years how this happened. And, I mean, the guy committed a multitude of crimes, which they should have already picked him up for really 16 years ago or 15 years ago when we reported him initially. But now that we found the main connection, which is he met this Rex Burkholder when he was 15. So Todd Burkholder is Rex's brother, and, you know, Scott, he just worked with Judge Michael McShane, who is a criminal federal judge. He actually got another promotion. He went from state judge to federal judge. They're all involved in this, and I'm telling you, this judge, he was sitting there talking about it don't matter that the kids were naked and this and that. There's a lot of hanky-panky going on in these courtrooms, and a lot of these judges are involved. And I don't like the fact that the state just continues to ignore this. It's really not their right.
Folks, we're telling you right now that you are under assault, okay? Your rights, they happen in the courtrooms, and the courtrooms, they don't belong to you anymore. Okay, they belong to the people in power, and the people in power do whatever they want in the courtrooms. They can throw out your rights. Okay, you have rights. You're supposed to have rights, but you don't have rights when you're going up against a corrupt judge who takes an envelope in a back room somewhere.
Yeah, and then there's nowhere to report these people. They either have immunity or, you know, the bar that governs attorneys is just the attorney's friends, which is what we discovered with Scott. You know, I want to remind everybody, Scott Kotcher presumably couldn't even prove that two adults who they admitted to boiling the water, they admitted to taking the tea kettle down into the bathroom, they admitted to burning our daughter, not getting her medical help, all of that. How are we paying her abusers? You know, we were liable to her abusers, which made no sense. So I've looked up Scott Kotcher because he is a super lawyer, and I found a few lawsuits that he filed. One in particular was a lawsuit against First Transit where he won an award of $1.05 million for a bike rider that was hit by a bus in Tigard. You can go and look that up, but it was a really weird case because the driver died before he could even testify or be deposed. Yet Scott was somehow able to prove that it was the driver who did this to the biker. It's a very strange case, but all over the place you see this man filing these these huge verdicts, filling his coffers, but somehow this was all supposed to be legit. This was not legit. Scott, what he really did was impede a police investigation, obstruct justice, and abuse our daughter. I'd like the man picked up. I don't know when he's going to get picked up. You know, he's a big-time Harvard attorney. He's a white man, so, you know, he's been on vacation from his crimes for the last 16 years. It's pretty incredible. You know, and he has this great law career because, you know, he came from Stoll Reeves. That's the firm that was also defending Nike against my husband. So there's a lot of stuff in the closet here in Portland.
There's a lot of hanky-panky going on in the courtrooms, people. And that's why your city looks like garbage. It literally looks like a freaking
cesspool. It's a filthy cesspool. But what also concerns me is that in our courts today, there's a lot of important decisions being made about the rights, especially women's rights, and ladies, we're losing. And why are we losing? Because we don't matter. You know, it's really sad to me that no woman will come down here and stand up for this child. I don't know what's going on. You know, I feel like if my daughter looked a different way, maybe if she was trans, maybe if she was, I don't know.
Maybe if she was white.
Maybe if she was white. I don't know what gets people's blood pumping around here, but for some reason, she doesn't matter. Is it because she's a little black girl, little black biological girl, so garbage can, y'all, or what? I mean, we need to address that. And that's not, I don't put that on the citizens. I mean, a lot of you probably feel completely powerless in this situation.
That's not good, though, folks.
Our public officials, our legal community, our medical community, they need to be held accountable, period. And we have to find a way to do it.
So, folks, it's actually, you cannot afford to feel powerless, okay? Do you understand? You cannot afford to feel powerless because these people, they didn't just do this to us. They didn't just do this to our daughter. They did this to you, okay? They did this to you. These are your rights that they trampled on. If they could do this to a child, to an innocent child, they could do whatever they want to you, and they are doing it.
You know, and after Scott threw our daughter's case and we were made to pay her abusers, I tried to get her counsel all through this state, this city. I begged the court to give her counsel. She was 9 years old. They would do nothing for her. So that's the kind of evil that's in charge right now. And it's just shocking. I mean, it's one thing for us to be telling you about it. I just want everybody to understand we get out here because we've experienced it. We've looked into the eyes of these soulless demons and there isn't a lot there, okay? So that is why our society is literally crumbling as we speak. Also, we have these attorneys in our communities just running amok. And I don't know. Like I said, Scott is able to do what he wants. I actually do think I'll read this article because I just want to give people a sense of the kind of cases this man files and wins. Yet think about it. He couldn't get Qadira anything. No police investigation, no apology, no compensation. He blamed her. He blamed her and us. How is that? When these people admitted to doing what they were doing. So I just want to read this because Scott is an influential person in this community, and he's a flat-out filthy criminal. Okay. Jury awards $1.05 million to bike rider hit by bus driver in Tigard. On Monday, a Multnomah County jury awarded $1.05 million to a Tigard resident who was hit by a bus operator while riding his bicycle on Highway 99. It's a victory, but a reminder that bicycle riders and their advocates still face an uphill battle when it comes to establishing a legal right to the road. The collision happened on October 7th, just before 9 a.m. 62-year-old Tigard resident Michael Kress was riding his bike southbound in the bike lane of Highway 99. As he passed Southwest Versailles Road and saw a bridge over the Tualatin River coming up, Kress had a choice to make because the bike lane on this state of Oregon-owned facility abruptly ended about 100 feet in front of him. We all know the feeling. Do you stay in the main convenient roadway and risk being closer to other traffic, or do you take a gamble on the sidewalk behind the guide rail that is full of debris, vegetation, and who knows what else? In this case, Cress, a former All-American swimmer, chose to stay in the lane. While Cress continued south, the driver of a Yamhill County Transit bus, Kelly Bigelow, drove up behind him. According to a driver's statement showed during the 6-day trial, Bigelow saw Cress in the bike lane, but the driver claimed that Cress was wobbling in the bike lane and was riding on or near the white stripe of paint that separates the lanes. The driver stated he slowed because of the rider's behaviors, reads the driver's statement recorded by First Transit, the private company that runs Yamhill's transit system. Bigelow looked up to check the traffic in front of him and his distance from the bridge. While his attention was diverted from the bike rider, he heard a thud on the side of the bus. That thud was Cress being hit and then slammed to the ground. The impact resulted in major injuries, including a broken clavicle and scapula that required immediate surgery. Cress also suffered a sternal fracture, 9 broken ribs, and several serious contusions. He spent 17 days in the hospital, had 3 surgeries, and racked up over $318,000 in medical bills. Adding insult to injury was the fact that lawyers for First Transit denied that it even happened and blamed Cress for the collision. If not for Cress's legal team led by Scott Kocher of Forum Law Group, a Bike Portland financial supporter and contributor, we might have never known the truth. Forum Law Group filed suit against Bigelow and First Transit. Their complaint claimed that the driver's actions led to Cress's injuries and that First Transit failed to adequately train and supervise their employee. First Transit denied the allegations. The injuries and damages to Cress were caused by his own negligence, stated a filing by First Transit's lawyers. They claimed it was Cress who lost balance on his own, failed to see the bus which was behind him, didn't stay in the bike lane, and so on. First Transit hired an expert witness, a retired leader of the Portland Police Bureau Traffic Crash Reconstruction Team, to back up their claims that Cress wasn't struck by Bigelow's bus. A key piece of evidence in the case was a black smear mark on the bus. Even though the mark was consistent with the height and composition of the rubber on Cress's handlebar grip, First Transit's expert witness tried to deny it. It was only from Kocher's cross-examination of the retired PPB officer that the truth came out. Kocher and his team were also able to demonstrate to the jury that First Transit's training requires bus operators give 4 feet of space to bicycle riders when they pass. Throughout the trial, First Transit acknowledged zero responsibility for what happened. The design of the roadway was also a factor. The official Tiger Bike map lists this section of the highway as a difficult connection in the collision. Not only is this a 45-mile speed limit state highway with an unprotected bike lane, but as you can see in the images, the bike lane striping narrows from the standard 8-inch width to just 4 inches prior to the bridge. This is frustratingly common ODOT treatment that disrespects the rights and safety of bicycle riders and forces them into precarious positions. ODOT also failed to maintain a potential alternate route on the other side of the guardrail. Even with clear negligence of ODOT's infrastructure, Kocher didn't make them part of this case, given the presence of strong discretionary immunity laws and other complications. Kocher felt his case was strong enough to win without getting mired in the mud with the state of Oregon. Kocher felt it was entirely reasonable for Cress to establish his presence on the white line prior to the bridge because he had made up his mind to share the lane. It was safer for Cress to begin to move to the left of the shoulder well before the bridge so that he wouldn't make a last-second swerve where the road narrows at the guardrail. Given the width of the roadway and the requirement of the 4-foot passing distance, the safe move for the bus operator would have been to slow and wait behind Cress until the road widened again after the bridge. But the bus operator, who mysteriously died from COVID before he could be deposed or participate in the trial, chose to make an unsafe pass. We don't really know that because the guy died, okay? After hearing the facts of the case and listening to arguments from both sides, the jury sided with Cress. But while they awarded him $1.295 million for economic damages and $318,000 for medical costs, they also said that Cress shared 35% of the fault. That dropped his award to $1.05 million. Cress had a rear tail light and was riding in a legal position on a road in dry daylight conditions. The fact that he was found to share any fault in this collision is very unfortunate. This case proves 2 things, Kocher told me. First, the justice system is not broken. This is a success. Is the system perfect? No, but for everyone that says there's no justice, that's not true. And second, he continued, even in 2022, we still have a long way to go to fight for our right to the road. Okay, this is a case Scott Kotcher filed. This is a complicated bike case. Who really knows who was really at fault here? But these people admitted to all this, and he had us paying her abusers. He took us to some fraudulent proceeding where these people made fun of our burned up daughter and made fun of our family and laughed at pictures of her being burned up, and they made us pay the people who burned her $8,000. Their court costs and attorney's fees, told us that we were horrible people for getting an attorney and for taking our daughter to the hospital with her huge traumatic injury. I don't know why Scott Kotcher is not in cuffs, but it's beyond the pale at this point. I don't know what law enforcement's doing. It's a complete free-for-all in this city, okay? Scott Kotcher is a complete grifter, and he took it out of First Transit. The guy can rig a trial, so who really knows? I think it's real suspicious that a main witness died before they could even be talked to. I'm not saying the biker didn't deserve anything, but Scott sure thought Qadira deserved nothing. And I'll tell you what, Scott left Qadira without nothing. She was 8 years old when this happened. She's 24 now, living with chronic injuries from this and got nothing. We are still waiting for a police investigation. So don't tell me that Scott and Judge McShane and Rudy Lockenmeyer and all this filth in this city didn't rig this up. We cannot have rigged courtrooms. That is a problem for everybody.
Folks, what you don't understand
and
is...
they did it with impunity.
What you don't understand is these people were able to file, okay, something that doesn't exist. There is no such thing as civil child neglect. Child neglect is just a crime. It's just a crime. So the fact that these people were able to get out into an open courtroom in front of public citizens and push this garbage as if it was real is really fucked up, okay?
Yeah, it is.
It's really messed up. This is the kind of justice system that you have going on in Portland. That's why it's absolutely disgraceful what is going on in the city, and we are allowing it. We are allowing it. The citizens are allowing it.
And law enforcement's allowing it, which is just shocking. They don't ever want to talk to us. Me and my husband were very reasonable people. But I'm sorry. They want to blame this on us, and they don't want to talk to anybody about it. Look, they did it to themselves. When we took Qadira to the hospital...
And we took her that night she was hurt.
All they needed to do was detain her and start investigating and calling the police and DHS. Nobody did their job.
Not the doctors.
No, the doctors
not the
didn't
police.
They were just interested in psychologically abusing our family, physically torturing our daughter, sent her out of the hospital, no treatment, no help, lied to our face. What kind of society do we have here? And this has been going on for 16 years. And now after all this time, we find out it all comes down to Scott was probably having a sexual relationship with Rex, because that's how these politicians are. No wonder. And yeah, I got this guy under oath saying this. I'm sure the law enforcement's known about it for whatever. This guy's still running around doing what he wants. That foreign law group needs to be shut down. Okay? They need to shut the place down and take the man's license and anybody else he's working with, and look at all the suits he's filed. Because he's a criminal. He's a criminal.
All these people are criminals. We haven't found one person with integrity in our system. Not in the hospitals, not in the courts, not on the police force.
I mean, if they're not following the rules, then they have an agenda. That's it. And that is the conversation I want to start having with the mayor and the governor and all the people running Oregon. What is going on here? Because, you know, it's one thing if me and my husband had disappeared, drank ourselves to death, screwed up our lives, and we were gone. But we're here. So ignoring us is just, it makes no sense. You know, I mean, and the rest of us should not have to pay for this nonsense.
Shut up, please. I believe in that.
You can go on. You can go on.
Fucking bitch.
That's right, I'm a bitch. I don't care.
I'm sorry, sir. What about this do you think is garbage? He's not worried about
this country. He's not worried about this country. You go where you want to go. You go where you want to go. I'm doing
That's why we're going down. That's why we're going down.
Here. You go on to where you want to
We are out here doing you guys a public service. We are trying to alert you to the fact that your courtrooms, your medical institutions are completely corrupt, and this is what we get.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
This is what we get. I don't even know.
No, it's fine. There's certain people that really, they want to have sex with kids, and they don't want anybody to have free speech, and they're all over the place. Okay? They're all over the place. And, you know what I'm saying? If the planet is overpopulated, please see yourself to the door if that's what you're interested in. Having sex with kids and lying, and you don't want any of this to be here, well, get up on then. Nobody's forcing you to stay. You know what I'm saying? I get real tired of when people tell me to be quiet. There is free speech in this country, and I'm going to use it, I guess, until it's gone, which it may not be here much longer, because nobody seems to care about anything in America. You know, Americans need to get serious about their rights. And one way you can get serious is start engaging with your legal system. Learn how to write a complaint. Learn how to respond to a complaint. Show up in these courtrooms and start holding these filthy, lying judges accountable. Because they're taking everybody for a ride, and they are putting in policies that are destroying the country for an agenda. An agenda. And the agenda is people don't matter. Only money does. And I'm getting real sick of that agenda, and I'm not going to stand for it. Me and my husband will stand alone if we have to.
And we are,
I'm not going to go along with the pack. Because what I see in this city is a zombie apocalypse of the highest order. People are just, you don't even have to be drugged out to be going along with it. I see people who are sober going along with this. We have to wake up. We are being run literally by demons. I don't know what my daughter was involved with, y'all. We still don't really know. But they boiled up a tea kettle on the stove.
This is just what they said they did, folks.
Scalding water. They coerced her to get naked, and then they just dumped it all over her and made sure she got no treatment. We are talking about psychopathic, sociopathic, sick behavior that needs to be addressed. And
we're going to get out here, folks.
I'm embarrassed for law enforcement to not be down here, because they should be reacting. They should show that they have the capability to even respond and make any of this make sense. But they're not doing it because it means arresting high-level people. But if we cannot arrest high-level people in our society, then we are finished as a society. Because people who are poor and disenfranchised, they get pulled into crime out of desperation. These people are committing crimes because they want to. Okay, there's a huge difference. Because they're sick in the head, because they want to torture people, because they want to hurt people.
That's what they did to us, folks. These are your public officials.
What?
Not one of them stepped in to protect our daughter. Okay, not one.
Or protect our family in any
They were
way.
trying to kill our daughter. They made sure this was a mortal injury. They made sure she got absolutely no treatment. 2 different hospitals, Providence St. Vincent and OHSU. They had us see multiple doctors who did not treat her at all.
It's disgusting. They lied to our faces, and these people need to be in cuffs. They need to be sat down. They need to be talked to. We need to root this filth out of our society. We need to make sure we're talking about it. We need to make sure we're focused on it. Because I'm telling you right now, we are coming apart at the seams.
Our society.
Do you not see the zombie apocalypse? And it's not just here in Portland. It's all over. It's all over the world. People are languishing in the streets. They're dying. They're slicing and dicing their bodies up. They're being poisoned. We have to do something. We have to do something that makes sense. And one of the things we have to do is make sure that the people that are running everything, we need to be checking on their intentions. Because these people seem to have some really sick agenda. My daughter, our daughter, here in Portland. This is a black girl, okay? She was brutally assaulted. You know, I'm here in a supposed to be a haven of Black Lives Matter, and everybody's supposed to be included, and we all care about one another, but guess what? Not this little girl. So that is also what concerns me about what I see in terms of women's rights kind of being stripped away, because I don't think we have any rights, ladies. I think we're garbage already. So we better be careful.
Yes, folks.
We better be careful, because
I'm telling you right now.
I mean, why doesn't my daughter matter? I think she doesn't matter because she's a little biological black girl. I think that's ultimately the problem here, and that needs to be discussed, because what you are witnessing week after week is discrimination. Where are the attorneys? How come not one single attorney in this town will help us? In this nation? Very suspicious.
Interesting, very suspicious.
Right, because they're all working for their little Harvard friend, Scott, who's a criminal, who was having a sexual relationship with Rex Burkholder, and he's running around covering up crimes. Who else has this guy did this to? We believed him. We went to him after our daughter was burned up. We said we needed help. We didn't go to sue those people. We needed help. We had no idea how to handle any of this. We were being lied to by the hospital. We didn't know that. We were stuck at home alone, caring for this mortal injury by ourselves with absolutely no instruction, no help. We had insurance, but they sent us to the medical store like we were playing Little House on the Prairie or something. I don't know. It was a psychological operation. But 16 years later, she's got nothing. We've got nothing. No investigation.
Still don't even know what happened that night.
All these years, still don't know why these people were playing with a scalding hot tea kettle. Don't know. It sounds like satanic ritual abuse. That's what it sounds like.
And folks, that stuff is actually going on, and we need to be taking it seriously as a society.
That's what it looks like.
Because there's absolutely no reason why this should have been covered up by all levels of the government, but it was. So that tells me that they are hiding something bigger here. That's what it tells me. Because the hospitals were involved, the courts were involved, the police are involved. What are they covering up? What are they covering up? Because if they... Listen, we already know that human trafficking is a huge industry here on the planet. Billions of dollars, okay, are being spent on human trafficking, okay? If that is happening in our courts, if it is happening in our hospitals, if the police are helping to make sure that it's keeping going because it's making that much money, that's a big problem for people on the planet. Don't you understand?
And let's face it, it's girls and women that are at the highest risk of this, okay? So, I mean, what happened to our daughter, I mean, this is what's happening to a lot of women and girls, and my concerns about Portland have only been heightened by what happened to our daughter. Because if there are people, you know, and that's what it looks like in her case, it didn't matter where we went. We would go to individual places, the Oregon Health Authority, the Judicial Board of Fitness, the hospitals, all these different entities responding the same. We would write our public officials, they respond the same. They keep referring to this as some kind of accident when it was so clearly not.
Sorry, man.
Thank you.
Here, take a flyer.
Take a flyer, yeah.
Thank you.
So, we need to work this out. I'm telling you right now, we're going to keep getting down here week after week after week. We are going to bust this thing wide open. Another concern I have is we don't have a free and fair media. Something's real wrong with our media because they're not covering this. And this is a nationwide problem. This is a nationwide blackout that me and my husband are experiencing. No left media or right media will cover this.
That's the problem,
what
folks.
What does that tell you? There's an agenda.
There's definitely...
And you guys, it's not a good agenda.
No.
There's bodies piling up in the streets. And what if people who go to court and they're sentenced to jail for their crimes because they don't get the Todd and Amy treatment? You know, Todd and Amy, after they burned up Qadira, they didn't even have to talk to the police. what criminal wouldn't like that red carpet rolled out for them? Because that's what they got. And I'm telling you, start asking for it. When you go down, you got somebody in jail, tell them to ask for the Todd and Amy treatment. Look up the case. Start using it. Make them answer for it. Do something. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And for every parent who's ever walked into a hospital and been separated from their child because they had a suspicious injury, they all know what I'm talking about. They gave Qadira right back to us because they expected her to die within hours. That is how serious her injury was. We don't really know how she lived. We attribute that to God. That's it. Because I can tell you right now, all we did was unwrap this wound, try our best to clean it, and wrap it back up. She couldn't even walk when they gave her back to she
But she had severe internal injuries that they didn't tell us about, and that they weren't stabilizing, folks. She was never stabilized, and she did eventually go into organ failure. Okay, so they meant for her to die. They were trying to facilitate. That's attempted murder. That was done by doctors.
The only reason we believe she's alive today is because we started to be suspicious of OHSU, and we started investigating what happened here. And when she went into organ failure on July 5th, 2011, it was a holiday weekend. It was right after 4th of July. She started dying on July 4th, 2011. So we rushed her to Emmanuel, and I think what they had in place was just a skeleton holiday team, and they saved her life. But, we'd like to know the ins and outs of this, because there's a lot more to be discovered here in this case. And if some people around here would do their job, which they get paid to do, and again, I'm not trying to get down on law enforcement. This is the story. They can regain their respect in the community by doing their job. That's what they can do. I'm not trying to hurt them or cause any violence towards them, but what they need to do is they need to work to regain that respect. Okay? I mean, if you don't respect your profession, if you don't respect what you do, if you're just literally working for, the wealthy political people and the corporations, and you don't care about people, get your ass out of law enforcement. And there's a lot of people that need to do that. I'm sorry. And the people who are down at the PPB and our FBI, all of it, grow a backbone. Stop being so spineless. You can't help your community if you're just serving Satan. Sorry, that's what it looks like to me.
And the bigger issue here, too, is that, and what is really affecting all of us, is a lot of what happened to our daughter was done for money, okay? We know this, okay? I was in a fight with Nike at the time, okay? We sued Phil Knight. I sued Phil Knight personally. I had him served, okay? The judges, they just tossed me out. But what they did to our daughter, what they did to our family, what they did to my wife and I in that civil trial, okay, at Multnomah County Courthouse, and it was run at your courthouse. It was sadistic what those people did to us. Okay, what they tried to do was they tried to psychologically destroy us in that courtroom.
They did.
They tried to incite violence. They wanted us to pick up a gun and go blow up our community. That is what they did to us. That is the feeling that we got after we went through that fraudulent trial in Multnomah County Courthouse.
They laughed.
How did they run that thing? There is no such thing as civil child neglect. That's what they ran. A completely fraudulent trial. How did they get away with that?
I'd like to know, because I'm telling you, there's all this violence in our communities, and when we think about what happened to us, then we have to think to ourselves, is this happening to other people? What are you being subjected to in these courtrooms? Because these filthy attorneys, y'all a bunch of liars. Y'all a bunch of liars.
And you know it.
I wish I could speak better to you, but you won't even help my daughter. She's the one who needs help, not Scott, the filthy, dirty criminal. criminal, not Nike and PK Runkles-Pearson and AJ Pedersen. They were just committing crimes against our family and manipulating the system, interfering with the legal process, which I see all these people went to jail for on January 6th. But here in Portland, in our nice little blue haven where I guess everybody worships the devil, they all just get away with it and do whatever they want. And I'm just sickened. The thing is I'm not going to be violent, but I don't owe you my silence. You will never get my silence on this. I don't owe you that. Neither does my husband, neither does our family.
So we're going to keep on getting out here, and we're going to keep on speaking up about this, and we're going to keep on telling you what the problem is that we are facing here as a race of beings on this planet. And it's very simple, folks. People don't matter, okay? Only money matters, and that's a big problem. That cannot continue to be the case. We need for people to actually start mattering on this planet.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting when, Mayor Wheeler's sitting there saying, I just want you to be decent people. I want him to be decent.
Yeah, he's not being decent. He's being sadistic.
Yeah.
His people, his constituents are coming to him, telling him, listen, what's important to us is the fact that you're not taking care of the people who are dying in the freaking street. Can we deal with that before anything else? And no, he's just going to do whatever he wants.
Hi.
Officer Paul Van Orden, I chatted with you before.
Hi.
We're issuing noise tickets again.
Fucking noise ticket! Fucking noise ticket! They abused our daughter. They're covering it up. They don't want us talking about it. So they're going to come here. They're going to give us a noise ticket, right? They want us to shut up.
Should I just talk
Right?
about that? I know, but should I talk about that to the police?
We don't. We're,
Don't care. You don't care? You don't care? Look what they did to our daughter. They did this. No, I'm not going to be quiet about this. We do not owe you our silence. This is a free speech activity. This is covered by the First Amendment.
We're down here
The
having
First
a free
Amendment.
speech activity, and here we are being cited. I don't know why we're being cited. Officer, are you going to talk to me about the information that we gave you the other day?
No, go ahead. Just let them walk off. It's not a ticket.
I'm just
for being too loud,
Yeah.
right? A ticket. They wanna treat us like we're the criminals.
Yeah.
They wanna treat us like we're the criminals, right? But they did this to our family. They
Right.
did this to our daughter. They tried to kill her. They tried to kill her, but they want us to be quiet. They want us to shut up.
Apparently this is a
Bullshit.
crime. This is a
Bullshit.
crime. Speaking of
Bull
straight.
fucking shit. That's what I call on the
literally
thing.
says
Bull
crime.
fucking shit.
It literally says crime. We've committed a crime. That's what they're saying. So, you guys, when you're standing back from this, I just want you to realize, there's some serious stuff. I've been holding back on this, but some serious shit came out of that house last week, and the cops don't care.
That's what it seems
So,
like, but we're
guys-
not gonna talk about it yet.
I'm not going to talk
We're not
about
gonna
it
talk
yet.
about it yet. We're gonna try and give the police some time to figure it out because they need to get it sorted out. But folks, something very, very not good is going on here in the city of Portland. It is not good at all. They want us to shut up.
6:30
They're already suppressing us on the media.
6:30
They
a.m.
already are suppressing us on the media.
6:30
Now they don't want us talking to you about it.
6:30 a.m. We're supposed to go in, and I guess we're going to be again cited, probably made to pay money, maybe jailed for speaking about this. And I'm telling you right now, we've turned over sensitive information, and those people very much are pedophiles, and they're not doing anything about it. So we may be arrested over this because this is what they do. So I guess maybe we'll become political prisoners. It wasn't enough to just hurt our daughter, try to kill her. They also have to try to take everything else. So I hope the public's seeing this, because we are going to turn the other cheek, and this is what these demonic people do. So, and the officer that came here, he knows exactly what I'm talking about because he took the information. So I think it's really sick. They have us coming in at 6:30 a.m., it looks like. I can't even see what day this is. So, that's what it is. We're not even allowed to speak. You guys are losing your free speech rights. You are losing your free speech rights as we speak. So, this this is not a crime to be down here talking.
No, this
All
is
these
protected by the
protests-
First Amendment
all these
of the
protests-
Oregon State Constitution
all these
and of the
protests-
American Constitution.
All these protests down in Portland, there's been all these fires, all this chaos, all these riots. We come down here and we try to peacefully speak and we're told we're not allowed to. So, you know, with that, I'm going to shut it down. I'm disgusted. I don't see how this could be a crime and not a violation.
Title 5, 12.1.2.
I don't know. We'll look it up.
We're going to look it up, folks, but
But,
I'm sorry. If you're having a situation, if you're having an issue, it is very much your right to inform the public. That is what American society, that's what the U.S. Constitution protects. That's the First Amendment.
I'm just
You should be
shocked.
able to speak.
I'm
You
just
should be
shocked.
able to speak about what it is that you're having an issue.
I'm just shocked
But they
that-
want to come here and attack our First Amendment rights. We'll meet them. We'll meet them in the court.
That's
we'll
right.
meet them in the court.
We'll meet him in the court, and we will ask for a jury trial, and hopefully all of you who have been witnessing this will show up and stand up for us, because we deserve to be out here. They don't deserve to keep secrets from the public when they're running this place like a fucking cesspool and committing crimes. They ain't got no right. So we'll be at court. We'll be at court, and we will get a jury trial if we have to, and we will defend ourselves, because we're doing nothing wrong.
Folks, this is absolutely protected by the First Amendment, okay? You can be out here and you can protest, okay? You can protest, and you should. You should be standing up for yourself. They don't want people standing up for themselves. That's why they want to shut us down. That's why they want to shut us down,
And you know
because we're
what?
speaking the truth.
You know
because
what?
we are calling out these criminal judges and doctors and police officers.
And you
That's
know
why
what?
they want us to shut up.
And they want to hurt our family more by doing this, because this is what they do to people. This is what they did to Jesus, right? This is what they do to people. You are not allowed to speak up for yourself. You're not allowed to have any agency. This is not a free country. Because when stuff like this happens, it's more important than ever. It's more important than ever to get up and speak up and stand up, because we don't have a civilization otherwise. It doesn't matter if we've created all these buildings and we have this government and these attorneys and these hospitals. It doesn't matter if they are all working in conjunction to harm people, and that's what's happened. All of these institutions, they are working in conjunction to harm people, and it's very, very sad.
And you are depending on them. You should be able to depend and trust your hospitals. You should be able to depend and trust that the courtrooms are going to be a fair place for you to actually use your rights. But we're telling you, that is not the case.
And I'm
That is
embarrassed-
not the case. And we've experienced it firsthand.
And I'm embarrassed for law enforcement, because they come down here and they act like the Stasi instead of acting like law enforcement. So I don't know. I can see why people really got on the defund the police movement, because I don't know, what are they for if they're just here to protect corporations and lying lawyers and people who are destroying everything that we built. I don't know.
If we're
I don't
just
know
here to
how we-
protect money, folks.
What's the point?
If we're just here to protect money, we are done as a race of beings on this planet. Okay, if that's all we're doing, if we're just getting together to protect money, and that's all that matters, we do not have a civilization here. If people don't matter, then we're done.
Right,
We're done.
right.
We're done on this planet,
Please
folks.
send the flood. It doesn't even matter. I mean, if this is the type of integrity we're going to be dealing with, instead of coming here and explaining anything to us and helping us with this situation, they're trying to charge us with the crime. See, this is why they've inflicted the severe emotional distress on our family, because they are trying to charge us with a crime. So
That's all they've ever wanted?
This is all they've ever wanted to do, was charge us with a crime.
After they ran
now-
a fraudulent
now we're
trial?
not even committing a crime, but they're charging us with one. Do you see that? Real interesting. That's what it says. It says on here, it says crime. It says I've committed a crime today. So, anyway, I'm going to pack it in.
Folks, but we're not going to stop getting out here, folks.
No.
Okay? If they want to fine us, they want to throw us in jail, whatever, folks, we'll take it, but we'll get right back out here, because we are standing up for you. We are standing up for your rights. Okay, your right should mean something. It doesn't mean anything to these people.
It's just
They
sad.
don't care about you.
That's right.
They don't care about you. Not the people in the courts, not the people on your police force, not the doctors. They will kill you if they get the chance, if it's convenient for them. They don't care what happens to you. We have experienced that firsthand.
It's funny because they know exactly how they can get us off this corner. Explain this, but they won't. They don't have to do that.
No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
Shame, the utter complete. It's just so shameful. It's so shameful and so sickening what has become of our society. It makes me want to vomit. It just makes me want to vomit. There's nothing here. It's just the land of filth and corruption, and I don't even know, there's all these churches, but people don't care about God. It's just disgusting. It's just money, 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 money. So, you know what? We're going to pack it in. We'll see everybody next week, hopefully, unless they decide to throw us in jail, because that's how these people are. They're very, very nasty, so if we're not here next week, they took us to jail for telling the truth, and I guess that's what you get nowadays in this nice free country that all these people spilled their blood to make. But anyways, I'm going to double down on my value today because I know I didn't commit a crime and I know I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm going to continue to stay strong in my value with my husband. And we're going to say our affirmation together because we are going to continue to stand strong together. That's right.
It is called free speech. And it's called free speech for a reason.
And we will stand up for that for everybody who wants to use their free speech. We'll keep you informed of these proceedings because, you know, a crime, somebody being charged with a crime for speaking freely, that's a serious case in America. And we all need to be watching that. You know, matter of fact, I think I'll give the ACLU a call today. Not that they've ever been helpful. So, here we go. What did he say?
I don't know.
Okay, I am the value.
I am the value.
You are the value.
You are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value.
I am the value.
I am the value.
You are the value.
You are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. We're not talking about money, folks. We're not talking about gold or silver. We're not talking about no stupid cryptocurrency. We are talking about your life. That is the only thing that actually has any value. And it's time that we start recognizing that. It's time. It's time you start standing up as a living being here on this planet, as a divine being. Okay? You have built-in sovereignty. You have built-in sovereignty. It's your authority that they're trying to use against you. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. You are what is valuable.
That's right.
Remember that.
And our story
know that.
matters.
Embrace it.
That's right. Thank you, Portland. God bless. Keep fighting. We're not giving up. We will meet these people. If free speech doesn't exist in America anymore, that's going to be a sad
They're going to
day.
have to prove it, folks.
We hope people.
We are
hope
going to
people
make
will
these
stand with
people
us.
prove that free speech does not matter in America anymore. We are going to make these people prove it.
Are they going to shut it down here in Portland? Is free speech going to be gone? We're going to find out. What day?
We are going to find out.
I can't even read this ticket because I'd tell you when it was. But I do notice the appointment is at 6:30 a.m. in the morning.
It's 8:30. It's March 31st. It looks like March 31st.
Yeah, they want us there first so they can manhandle us if they want to, you know, because these people are evil. They will. They'll
No, but we're going to get
whatever.
out here. We're going to keep on letting you know what's going on because these people are corrupt. They're sick. They don't deserve to be running anything. They don't deserve for you to be listening to them. I don't know why you are. Okay? These people do whatever they want with impunity. They have proven that to my wife and I. Okay, we've been out here. The 16 years we've been dealing with this garbage. These people abused our kid. They made us pay her abusers. Fuck that bullshit.
That's right.
That's fucking bullshit.
That's
they
right.
tried to kill her. They tried to kill her at the hospitals. No, man, that's not okay. That's not okay. And we're going to fight to the day we die against this fucking bullshit.
That's right. All right, amen. God bless. We'll see everybody next week. If we're not here, you know they came and got us. And I hope somebody will stand in our space. Because you know what, Portland? We don't have to let this die. If me and my husband go down, two of you, male, female, label yourself as the value. Get out here and do
Stand
this.
up. Stand up for
Stand
people.
up.
They are treating us like we don't matter all over the streets. Why are we letting it happen, people?
That's right.
Why are we letting it happen? We are letting it happen.
Take back your value. All right, God bless Portland. We'll see you next week. Play fight.
So you guys have any? Yes.
You know, there's so much. There's a lot of garbage going on, but people aren't. They're not involved enough, and that's why these people are just getting away with whatever they want.
They're not understanding that this is just a corporation.
Right.
Yeah.
Every